Hello everyone, welcome to Mastering ArchiCAD, Unleashing the Power of Complex Geometry, brought to you by me, Dominic from Skylight Visual. Are you ready to take your ArchiCAD skills to the next level? Get ready to dive into the world of complex geometry and learn how to bring your most ambitious architectural visions to life. In this comprehensive tutorial, I will demonstrate step by step the process of modeling complex geometries of the project you see on your screen using ArchiCAD 26. Whether you are an inspiring architect, a seasoned professional, or a design enthusiast with passion of pushing boundaries, this video is designed to empower you with the knowledge and skills needed to create stunning architectural marvels. From parametric modeling to advanced 3D manipulation, you will learn how to harness ArchiCAD's powerful features to achieve complex forms, intricate structures, and breathtaking facades. By the end of this video, you will have the confidence and expertise to tackle any project that demands the seamless fusion of creativity and precision. ArchiCAD will become your ally in transforming your boldest ideas into reality. Get ready to unlock a new level of architectural design. Join me on this exhilarating journey as we dive into the art and science of modeling complex geometries using ArchiCAD. Without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's the sketch that I'm going to use for this demonstration. It's basically the geometry of our architecture of this project that we're going to create. If you want to follow along with this tutorial, make sure you check the link on the description to download this sketch. So it's a sketch, it's made up of a polyline, as you can see, and yeah, we are going to use it to generate our advanced or complex geometry for our project. There are different ways of approaching this in ArchiCAD. You can use you can use a complex profile to have a profile of this, and then make sure you use a beam or a wall tool to place this in your ArchiCAD. Or you can use a combination of both profile and using the 3D tools like walls and roofs to assemble this, but you have different portions. This will allow you to maybe demarcate. For example, this area will be done separately, and then you have this as a profile, or maybe this as a roof, and then this as a profile, this is an angled wall, and then this also as an angled wall. So on the curves, on the corners or curved corners, you can use a profile to achieve that, and then the remaining part of the roof is going to be a roof tool. This will be a wall or a slanted wall. Same applies to these two sides. Okay, and then you can also use a morph tool. A morph tool is easy to use and it's quicker to produce results. All these options has pros and cons, gentlemen and ladies, but it's the way you think in terms of the approach. ArchiCAD, its point is to make things once and then reuse them in future projects. For example, if you are now to think about editing your project, if you were to come back and make some adjustment to a project, this is important from the beginning. Know that the approach you go for is it flexible in order for you in future to come and make some changes in your project without affecting or without having a hassle to do that. So in this tutorial, I'm going to explore the best practices or the best approach in this type of architecture. So like I said, you can use the morph tool, you can use combination of a profile and other 3D tools, and then you can use again a profile as a separate approach. And for me, I would recommend you to use a shell tool. Let's activate the shell tool, and then once you activate the shell tool, under the info box, I have my info box docked on the side of your tools here for easy access of all the parameters, as you can see, and it makes sense here, and it also create enough space for my project, as you can see. And to achieve this, normally you would have by default you have your info box like this. So if you go here under this corner, there is this line, vertical line. If you hover your cursor here, it will change to a move tool. So just drag it and then dock it alongside your tools. Okay, so once you've activated your shell tool, we have the geometry method here that will determine how the operation of our placement of our shell. As you can see, we have three different. We have the extruded ones, we can revolve, we can use this ruled method. And then under construction method, we have the simple method, and then we have detailed. We're going to activate detailed, for example. And then as you could see, under structure, we have a composite. We have an opportunity to create a composite for our shell, which is a very great feature for this. So by default, we have different types of composite created for both roof and walls. As you can see, I'll choose the roof aluminum because the entire structure will be made up of steel. And then you can have an option again to use just a basic structure. Okay, so then let's move down here. The elevation on the home story, I want it to be 0. Let's just key in 0 there. Okay, and then once you're done, other parameters that are meant to be set later, parameters like the surface, we can come and change it later. So let's see now how you can apply our shell into this sketch or whatever polyline. So we're going to activate our magic wand tool by press and hold the spacebar key in your keyboard, and then you'd see your cursor changes to something like this. If you now click on the sketch, it will ask you to enter the extrusion, because remember, this extrusion is the width of our building. What you see here on the sketch is the elevation perspective, right? Even if we are doing it, even though we're doing it on the ground floor. The reason why we are doing it on the ground floor, you cannot do the operation of a shell on other views like elevations and sections. It's only possible you do it on the plan view, and then you can come later and rotate it to suit the orientation. So in this case, my width of the building is going to be 8 meters. I'm using millimeters for my region, so it's going to be 8,000 millimeters to represent 8 meters. I'll hit enter, and then boom, my shell will be placed. So if you check on 3D, let's see what it looks like on 3D. This is basically how it is. The orientation is not what we want because it's facing upward, so we need to rotate this to make it on the right orientation. What I need to do is to select one of the elevations. I think let's use this east elevation. Select it, right click to open with current view settings. Once you've opened your elevations, we can select our move, so our shell, and then we can say Control E to activate the rotate tool, and then I can pick this corner. Then horizontally, I'm gonna specify the second point of the rotation, and then I can now define the rotation angle, which is going to be 90 degrees, something like this. Okay, so if we check on 3D, now we have our geometry placed. The reason why I've used this shell is because of its parameters. So if I select this, I can come here and change the profile. Let's say I change the composite to something else. Let's say maybe go to a flat roof. It will technically change to that. Okay, or we can change. Let's just get back to our, let's see. Okay, again, you can override all these materials. So if you see here on the edge, we have a concrete or the composite showing. We can try to override all the edges to have one surface. So if you come down here and then under surface, click that, and then make sure you override all the faces, and then you choose whatever surface you want. I will go for a paint. Let me just paint glossy white. Okay. Oh, it didn't change for. Make sure you link all the surfaces like that, so that it can affect all your sides. Pretty stuff, huh? Okay, so now we need to start the floor. Let's go back to our ground view, and then I think let's now move the sketch out of the context because it served its purpose. We are remaining with our building now. So what we need to do here is to place a slab. So I'll activate the slab tool. I can use the composite as well, but for this time I'm gonna use just a basic structure, and then I will make sure that the reference location of this is going to be at the top, and then I'm going to use the geometry method of a rectangle. Let's pick this corner, and then I'll draw diagonally to place it on this point. Okay, so if we check on 3D, that's what we have. And then let's set this to merge. I don't know which one is it. Okay, let's set this to be at we can also change the reference of this line to elevate it, and then remain at 0, which is the bottom of our slab is going to be 0, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Let's go back to the top, and then we can take this and bring it down a bit. Let's say Control D in your keyboard, and then pick this point, set it here to 300 to match the height of that. So you could see now the connection here, it's basically wrong, as you could see. How do we fix this? Let's just make sure it sits right on the thing. Okay, I'm pretty certain with the offset height of our slab. So we need to adjust our shell to match this accurately, right? So how do we achieve that? We can select this and then pick this line, the blue line on the side, and then we can change to the custom edge settings. Okay, and then once you are here, I can choose this one, and maybe I can have a reverse, let's say make it 50, and then see, it's 50, and then I can now stretch it outside to here. It's not working. It is, but let's move it somewhere there. You could see is again not accurate. You could see it's not again accurate, but let's again increase, maybe adjust the size of the angle to 60. No, 40. I think 40 is the correct number. 40 is the, yeah, it looks like. Or you can go to the elevation and measure this just for you to be accurate. Let's open this elevation, right click, and then open with current view settings. Once you are here, let's select this line to extend our elevation view range, something like this. You can do both sides, even the side we can do the same. Okay, so what we need to do here is to draw a line. I'll pick this line, and then let's go to the documents and then pick the angle dimension tool. Let's start from this point, and then you can select this and then also this direction. You can go back and click this so that you can place your, it's 35, right? So now we can go back to the 3D window, and let's make this 35. I'll select this edge and then go back again to the custom edge settings and make this 35. Right, we're pretty sure now with the size of, or with the angle, it's equivalent to the shell geometry. So what we need to do now is to make sure it's right, it's sitting on the right edge. So I don't know which, we can come here and try to see. Right, but I think on 3D is the perfect way to do it. Let's say zoom in here. I think I'm being distracted by these grids. I can go here under view. Let's switch them off, construction grids, and then we just remain with the editing grids, something like that. Let's select this and then pick the edge, offset the edge from the pet palette, and then again now use this tool. Perfect. As you can see, it's accurate now. So we need also to clean this to clean the glittering of this intersection. Okay, but this is pretty much easy. We can use the magic the solid element operation. But before we do that, let's go to the other side and do the same as well. I'm going to start by selecting this edge, right, and then go to the custom edge settings. Let's set this. We now have the angle. I don't know it's equal to the other side. I don't think they're the same, but for now let's just key in the 35 and select this edge to offset it. Let's offset it to here. As you can see, it's not the same angle, so let's go to the ground and so let's just open this elevation from the tabs, so that I want us to measure this angle. So I'll go here under the documents and activate the angle dimension tool. I'll start with this point and then go this direction, then come here, go back to this point again, and then place. So it's 19. So go back to the 3D window and make sure we set this to 19 degrees. Let's select this and go back to the custom edge settings, set this to be 19 degrees. As you could see now, it's accurate, but I don't think it's not that accurate. Maybe it was supposed to be 20 instead of 19. Let's go back and then set it to 20 and see. Perfect. It's more accurate now. So what you need to do is to address the issue of the connection or the joints between the slab, the floor slab, and the shell geometry. Okay, but again, we need to make our slab to be right on the edge here. Or we can use this as a finishing material, or maybe increase the size of our slab to include also the finish. I will make it 350 and then set it to 50. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so now you could see it sits right on the edge of the thing, but we can also stretch this to that and do the same to this side as well. It's yes. Okay, what happened? Oh, sorry about that. Let's click this and then stretch it all the way to this edge. What is the problem here? Okay, instead of offsetting the edge, I was using insert point. Let's make sure the tool is the right tool, which is offsetting the edge, and then use that. Okay, great stuff. Now we need to do the magic. I think also we still have this the grid display. I think we can go back to the view and then switch off the edit plane display, just to remain with a clean model. Okay, so from here I'm going to select or to bring the solid element operation to or command to fix the joint between the floor slab and the shell geometry. So we need to understand first, what is it we need to do here? Which side are we cropping or which side are we trimming in order for us to have a clean or a perfect joint? I think you could see the slab is perfectly positioned. What we need to do is only the shell, to trim off the bottom of the shell. So I'm going to select the shell as a target and then right click to go to connect and bring in solid element operation. Okay, once we are here, we have to select, because already by default it will add the selected element as a target. And you can see we have one target. Now we need to select the option or the operator and then add the slab as an operator. We're going to use the operation to be subtraction with downward extrusion, because we just want to crop or to trim off the underside of the shell or the material that are extending to our slab. So if we hit execute, it will trim off that. Now we have a perfect joint. So if you want this to be continuous, we could change the surface of our slab on the sides. Let's come here and activate the side material to be same as paint that we've used for our shell. So now we have this continuous geometry, as you could see. Okay, so for the top surface of our floor, or the floor finish, I'm going to use a timber material. So let's activate the top part and find let's go for the floorboards. Do we have floorboards here? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I can minimize this and then move it at the top there, because maybe I can use it in future. So that's basically what I have here. You can also make sure the lines are the same, the pen style are the same, right? So I'll start with the shell and then come here under floor plan section. I'm going to set this to be pen 1 for the outline. Set this for pen 1. Even for this is going to be pen 1. Okay, great. And then we're gonna go for our slab. Do the same. The cut, we're going to use a different pen, maybe 35. Let's check. Yeah, 0.35, but as a black pen. Uncut is going to be pen 1. Same applies to the hidden ones, like that. All right, so now we have a continuous geometry from the roof to the floor. Okay, it looks great. So this side is clean, and then this side we have this line. I don't know why do we have this line. I think it's because of the slab. If we select this part and then move it to there, what happened here? Something happened. Okay, if we go back to the floor plan view, select your slab, you see we have this. Yeah, that's the problem. We need to pick this edge and then dock it from the side. So if you go back, it should be fine. Should be fine, but we still have an issue here. We still have an issue. Maybe let's extrude this to somewhere there. Let's see. Okay, let's do it again. We can zoom in. To find the edge, you'd see your cursor changes, right? So let's should be somewhere here. Yeah. So, oh, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, that's the one. I think we can leave it here. We can try fix it, but it's not that great major problem. We can come back and try fix it, but let's continue with the remaining activities. Okay, now once we have our geometry, the shell and the floor slab is in place. Now we need to think about how we're going to fill in these spaces for the sides. To achieve that, we're going to use a curtain wall. A curtain wall is another tool that is unutilized, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to use our curtain wall tool to create an edging for this geometry, and then create again the walls, right? Let's do that. Go back to the ground floor, and then let's go to the design tool palette to activate the curtain wall tool. So once we've activated it, let's open its settings and see what can we do. So under the curtain wall settings, you always have a favorites that comes with a default ArchiCAD template, as you could see. But I want to see the favorites under schemes, because that's one feature that is very important. So if you come here, if you select the scheme and then open or click this arrow to open your favorites, you've got a number of styles as a template here, right? So what we need to do for us, we just need a boundary. So I'm gonna go with this empty one to start everything from scratch, and then before I can even set anything here, I would hit OK to apply our curtain wall. So I'm gonna start our curtain wall just here, but I know it will continue to somewhere here, but let's now do it there. So I would draw it from to this area again, and then I would make sure it's drawn from the inside. Let's flip it to the inside. I would come here under the parameters and flip. Okay, so if you check on 3D, this is what we have on 3D. It's just a plain blank curtain wall, but let's make sure it goes and covers the entire region for our shell. To achieve that, let's go back here, or we can just do it on 3D, right? Or just maybe just pick this point and then stretch it to here. Let's check is that's the problem. Let's just make sure it does that. Okay, so we could try fit it here, but the best way is to open an elevation. Let's go back to this elevation, south elevation. I can close off the solid element operation for now, and then what we need to do here is to select the curtain wall and then hit edit. We're going to edit it from the elevation. So on the edit mode of our curtain wall, we have different features here. We have the frames, panel, junction, blah blah blah, as you can see them here. What I need to do is to switch them off. I want to activate the skin grid and then get rid of all this. Let's switch them off. Yes. Okay, so if you zoom in here, we have just a region, a geometry for our curtain wall. I'll select that, and then from here I'll pick this point, and I would use the move node to move this point to there, and then insert another point here. I'll insert another point to there, another one, it will be here, right? And then to curve this, we can convert this into a curve, but it won't work as we want. You see now how it does. So let's just undo, and then I'll show you how to create. Oh, sorry about that. Now it's activated all this, guys, but it's fine. We can still do it. Instead of curving it, we're gonna use segments, right? I'm gonna add a point here and then place it there. Add another point to the segment, just like that. Unfortunately, you have to go this process because that's the only way you can achieve great results. So if you try to convert this to an arc, trust me, that won't work. So by doing this, even if in practical you cannot bend the metal just by, you have to create the segments, scoring the surface and then create the segments. You will get a perfect curve to your metal. That's that. And then I'll add another point here to be on this corner. We'll continue. This will be maybe there. I think we need to add, because this is more like a curve, we'll add another point there. Oh, sorry about that. It should be the. Okay, let's move to the side. I'll add to this point, and then I'll break down this line into some segments to create a curve like we did to the other side. Let's just complete this, zoom in, place it there. Let's move on to this side as well. Take this point to here, and then let's start by creating this curve to add segments. Empty like that. There we go. So now we have this geometry, and we can now activate our frame and panel. So if we hit exit, let's exit the mode, and then you can see now we have this nice bend around our geometry. So if you check on 3D as well, this is what we have. This is what we have created. Okay, but you could see now it's encroaching to the side of the shell. So we have an issue again here on the slab. We can raise our, how do we raise? We can raise our shell, our curtain wall right on the top of our our slab. So let's go to this elevation and try to achieve that. So let's select this and edit. Instead of having this sitting right on the top, or let's activate this, yeah, something like that. And then I'll pick this guideline. It doesn't work. Okay, let's switch off the elements, something like that. And then I can now take this and offset the edge by 50. Okay, so if you activate your frame, now it's sit right on the top of your slab. So if you hit exit, you could now see it on 3D. Perfect. Okay, we still have some material encroaching, but that's we can also fix that by using solid element operation to clean that. Okay, and then another thing is that we need to close off this. Okay, right now it's just a frame. Let's go back to the elevation and try to achieve that. Select our curtain wall, activate the edit, and what I need to do here is to come here under frame, and then we also have tools here. We have a curtain wall scheme settings, the curtain wall frame, and then the panel. So I'll start with the frames. So I'm going to click frame, and then let's make this a transversal instead of a boundary, and then I'm going to draw this a frame here. What's going on? Frame. Let's start. Okay, sorry about that. Let's pick from here and then draw a frame. It's not showing, I don't know why. Something like that, and then the remaining part is going to be blocked. So this, we can run a copy. We can run multiple copies of this going all the way this way. Let's activate this, and then I'm going to uncheck the pick path. Then I can just use it's 1.2. Something like that. Perfect. And then we need to fix the issue of the panels, because as it is now, if you close your or exit your, it's just the frames without the panels. So what we need to do, let's go back, and then we're gonna have a door here, an access here again. But before we do that, let's solve the issue of the panels. Let's edit, and then I'm going to activate the panel tool, and then I'm going to click on the region here to add a panel, and then also to add panels in between there, something like that. Just click on the region to add some panels like that. I'll complete with this one, and then I'll pick the arrow tool so that I can select this panel, and then come here under edit the panel. Let's set the thickness of it to be 100 because it should be a wall. It will act as a wall. So I'll come down to the curtain wall panel settings, make changes to be timber. I want this to be timber structural, and I'll override again the surfaces to be wood. Let's find I want you. So I'll have to find a specific surface to use for this. So make sure all the surfaces are being linked, and then hit OK. So if you hit exit, let's check on 3D. That's basically what we have, and we have now a complete filled in geometry like that. Okay, now I can make a copy to the other side. Let's go back to the ground. Select your curtain wall. Control Shift M to activate the mirror copy command, and then I would use the center of this to mirror to this side horizontally. Okay, so we have that geometry, as you could see. Now what we need to do is to create an access to this building. In order to create an access, we'll go back to the elevations, and we're going to activate the edit mode for our curtain wall, and then we're going to have a frame of our door there. So let's activate the frame tool, and but we can sketch. Let's exit, and just so that you can have a sketch. Let's go to the documents and then activate the polyline tool. I will just have a sketch here. Let's use the geometry method of a rectangle, and then this door is going to be, let's say, 1.6 by 2.1. okay, and then I would assume it going to be positioned somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere there, or maybe let's say somewhere here. All right, now select the curtain wall and hit edit to access the edit mode. What we need to do here is to activate the panel, the frame tool, and then we can draw a frame like that, frame like here, frame like that. Yes, and then we can select these ones and delete that are encroaching our door. This one is not selected. Okay, then delete. Right, so now we have a panel to put our door there. This door is going to be a double door, so I'll select this panel and then come here under panel settings, panel setting dialog, and then open it. So we're going to change this to be a double door symmetric. Let's use this one. Okay, and then we come here, make sure the 3D is a full resolution. Same applies to 2D. Let's make it full. And what other settings to explore? Let's move on to the next page. I think we can also define the type of the leaf we want, but for now I think this one is fine. Let's move on to the other side. The handle can change as well to be something like that. There has to be the same, and move on to the other settings. We can override the 2D if we want. I like to have the line shape or the path for this to be dotted. I can override some with it. Yeah, let's make this to be dotted, dashed. It's not showing. let's just leave it at under test, and then this is going to be on point 1, pen 1. Yeah, I think this is pretty much everything that we need to set about our door. I'll hit OK so that you can place the door. There we go. I think we didn't set the dimensions or the thicknesses of our door frame, so I'll go back while it's still being selected. Let's open the settings, and then we need to go back to the page, or you can just click this arrow to access the frame leaf, so that we can say this should be 50. Yes, yeah, I think it should be 50, and then we hit OK. Oh, we only changed one side. Let's go back and adapter. Okay, let's go back to subframe and then change to leaf 2, because we have 2 leaves, and then set the same to be 50. Okay, and then hit OK. I should be fine now. Perfect. That's basically what we have. We can hit exit. That's what we have, and then check on 3D. This is basically what we created. Okay, we have a door that has support from the side and that side, which is pretty interesting. All right, let's move on to the next step, which is now creating the inside of this project. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the ground floor, because the representation again has to make sense from the ground, right? So what we have here, we have a pit here, sorry, instead of a dining, a lounge, a sunken lounge here, and then this side is the raised bedding, because this is more like a retreat forest building. So what we need to do is to add a wall here. Let's come here under design tool palettes and activate the wall tool, set the structure to be basic, and I'm going to change its material, its surfaces to be white. Let's find yeah, we can go for white, fine. Okay, and then this wall supposed to come from this side. Okay, let me just use this point. I'll put or hover the cursor on top of this corner so that you can wait for the circle to be activated, and then once I've done that, I can move away and key in. So, and key in the measurement. Maybe it's going to be 6 meters, then hit enter, so I can start drawing my wall from there to there. So this wall height, let's check on 3D first. This wall height should be 1.2, so I'm going to unrestrict it because it's linked to the above story. So let's just say not linked, and then set the height to be 1.2. So that will be the height of our raised floor for our bedding, and then we need to fill in with a slab there. Let's go back and activate a slab. You could pick parameters of this slab, but this one is going to be raised by 1.2, which is the top of that. Yeah, and then I can draw the slab from this corner to, I think it could go all the way to here. Okay, and then make sure the slab is aligned, because this edge has to be right on the edge, and then this wall again has to start on the inside of your curtain wall. Same applies to this side as well, just like that. Okay, so if we check on 3D, we have our slab here. We can also change the material to be something else. Let's just make this white instead of timber. Let's make it white. I would say tile, for example. I don't want to create any new surface, any new material for this. I just want to use whatever material available to there. I can have the same material on the edge of my wall as well. Okay, so now I have a raised floor on the side, but we have to make sure it's nicely positioned here. You see, we have a problem here. We can fix this by selecting that and then offset it all the way there like that. Perfect. You can try to be accurate by cutting a section so that you can see this nicely. Let's go back and then cut a section. Let's go to the viewpoints and activate the section tool and draw it horizontal like that, and the view range would be from this direction. If you select it and then right click and open with current view settings, you would see we have an issue to fix here. Let's select the slab because we're going to trim it off, and then you right click to bring the connect and solid element operation. There we go. We have our slab as a target. We need to select our shell as an operator. This time around I'm just going to use subtract because the shell covers the entire part of this encroached material. So if you hit subtract, it will clean up that nicely. As you can see, you can get rid of this window. Yeah, and this, instead of being a concrete, it can be timber as well. It can be timber floor. Let's find timber structural, and then you can have some structural support here for this floor. I'm not going to do that because for the sake, I don't want to make this video long, but you get what I'm trying to say. Normally you would have a structure that will support this floor, this timber floor. Okay, so let's and then this again can be a timber instead of, let's find timber structural, something like this. Yes. Okay, and then let's go back to the 3D. Yeah, we can have our bedding there. Let's throw in our bed. Now come here under design, activate the object tool and open its settings. I'm going to find the folder for the furniture layout. Where is it? It's here. And then activate this bed and place it somewhere there. Select it, Control E to rotate it. I want it to face this way. You can have multiple beds here, but for this, let's just leave it as one. Right. Just change the pens to be pen 1. Oh no, this is going to be pen 2 because it's a furniture, something like that. And then here we're gonna have some shelving and cabinets. Okay, some shelving and cabinets, and then we have steps that will access this platform. To do that, let's activate our, let's start first with our staircase. Our staircase, instead of being linked to the upper story, we're gonna say it's not gonna be linked because the height of it is 1.2 and the offset from the ground should be 0, and click to start the flight. So they're going to be only 8 steps for that. I'm going to take this and place it there. For now, I'm not worried with the distance between, or the distance from the floor, because it will be determined by the shelving that we're going to do in some minutes. Okay, so that's how it is. So we're going to have shelving from both sides of our staircase. So let's go to the ground and place that. So I'm going to say object settings. Let's go for the cabinets and shelving. Okay, so this is going to be a chest, and place it here. We can rotate, Control E to rotate this vertically also like that. I think the angle is not what I wanted. It should be 260, oh, 270, sorry. Right, then I'm going to start all the way from this corner, and then this, let's make the width of this to be 1.2. and then Control D to move it to the corner like that. And then I'm going to Control Shift D to make a copy to this, another copy to that. So if we check on 3D, this is what we have, and it has to be on the same height with our wall, because we're going to use this as our wall. So let's say this is going to be, instead of 900, to make it 1.2, and I'm going to Control G to group this. Okay, I'm not happy with the lines, pens, styles of that. Let's go here under floor plan and section. Let's override pens. So this is going to be on pen 1 for the symbol. Okay, yeah, something like that. I can get rid of the handles. Let's select it and open its settings and change the handles to something else. Let's see what we have there, and I think I would go for something like this for the pools. No, let's check on these ones. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's find the beveled one, something like that. Okay, do we have this the automated one? When you press them, they will be, let's see what we have. We don't have that. We don't have this. No, we don't have. So I'll just leave it the way it is. Okay. Oh no. Let's undo. I'm gonna hit undo. Yes. Okay, so if we go back to the ground floor, now we know the position of our staircase. Let's just move it right next to the cabinets, something like that. And then this side I'm going to place maybe a cook, an oven and a basin for just a kitchenette. Let's activate the object tool and open its settings. This time around we're going to go for the kitchen cabinets. Select this base cabinet and make sure it has a counter, and then move on to the other sides. I want to add a sink for this. Oh, sorry about that. Let's activate the sink and then choose something like that. I'm not going to be worried by some of the things. The tap is going to be, let's go for this and then hit OK. Place it there, select it, and then make the width of this to be 1.2. Let's make this to be 1.2. Control E to rotate, and make sure the backside, you would see this black dots in every object. It represents the backside of the object, right? So we know that it's going to be against the wall. And let's move it right to the corner. We can Control Shift D to add another copy right to the edge of the staircase. So that means we are going to stretch this by using a stretch on your pet palette, roughly by half of the remaining space between these two objects, and then select this one and do the same to that. Select both of them, Control G to group them, and come here under floor plan section. I'm going to override the pen styles to set this to be 1. Okay, just to be the same as the other ones, but let's make them to be as the same as the bed, which is pen 2. Okay, so that's basically what we have here. If we check on 3D, this is what I intended to have. Okay, but instead of having let's ungroup that. Instead of having 2 sinks, I'm going to change the other ones to be a cooktop. Let's come back. I'm gonna switch off this and then hit OK, just to have a sink there. Right, and we can have the same color Let's check the color of this. The color for this side might be the, let's find, I'm looking for the surfaces for that. If you check here, maybe under 3D representations, let's paint titanium white. So let's make this also to be paint titanium white. So I'm gonna, or you can just come here under surfaces, search for paint titanium white. It doesn't change. Why? Okay, let's open its settings, and then I think we need to find the parameter for 3D surfaces. It's only on representations, yes, and then set this to be paint titanium white. Same applies to this panel and cabinet. Hit OK. So now we have a consistent color scheme for our interior. Right, so we also have to fix these the internal side of our curtain wall. You see, now we have the timber was supposed to be outside. Inside we're going to treat it with sun finish. So if I say edit this and then select that, let's open its settings from here, and let's identify which side is that. So I'm going to unlink this because I just want to change one side, and I think it's going to be the first one. Let's set this to be paint titanium white, and then see. Great, hit exit, and then I'm going to do the same to this one. Edit, select that, open its settings, and then this time around it's going to be this one. Let's uncheck that. It's going to be paint titanium white. Hit OK. Oh, it's wrong. I changed the other side. So this side, let's, wow. So this side is going to be wood. I've used mahogany vertical, and then this as well is going to be wood mahogany vertical. Hit OK. There we go. Hit exit edit mode. All right, so that's basically what we have there, as you can see. All right, it looks great. It looks great. So we move on to the pit, the sunken lounge. That is going to be here. Okay, but before we do that, we have an offset here for the veranda of this, for the porch of this. I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. So to achieve that, let's go back to the elevation, and we're going to get rid of this part so that we can move our, or instead of doing that, let's say ground, and then select this, and then add a point. I'll add a point right here. No, it has messed everything. Everything will be messed, as you can see. Let's undo. Let's go back to the initial idea, whereby we come here, and then we say edit for this panel, and then we get rid of this panel. Okay, we get rid of that panel. We get rid of I want to get rid of these frames. I can activate get rid of this frame, get rid of this frame, so that I don't know why these ones are refusing. Do the same to the side. it's going to be a problem here. I didn't want to create this from the beginning or from scratch again. I just wanted to take advantage of this and let's hover a cursor there, frame, delete, move to the next I want to select a frame, yes, delete, frame, I know it's tedious, but that's the importance of having a good approach. You see, now I didn't cater for that from the beginning, so I could have done that to avoid this process, the tedious process to find yourself doing. It bounds to happen in any projects. You can try to have a clean, smooth workflow, but there will be some small things to come back and adjust and try to get them right. That's what I am here. Let's check on 3D what's left here. I think let's just delete this. I'll delete that, you know why, and then start all over again. So I'll come here underground and then pick the parameters of this, or I could have done this way. Let's just undo. I'm going to undo. Let's see if I can undo to the first part. Let's undo. Wow. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. All right. So let's exit this. Instead of deleting that, let's come here, and what if we change or we stretch this? Let's see if we stretch this to here. No, it's shrinking everything. It's shrinking everything. What about trimming? What about trimming this? I don't know, stick. Can you trim, split a curtain wall? I haven't done that before. Clearly it's not working. Okay, so the best way is to delete this and start all over again, and I'll pick parameters of let's just activate the curtain wall here, and then I'll draw from this. So it's supposed to start from here. I'll hover a cursor so that I can go all the way by clicking 1.5. It's going to be the 1.2 is going to be the width of our porch. So I'll draw this to be somewhere here. Okay, so it's going to be something like that. Okay, and then we're going to have another member going all the way to here, and then another member to there, and this we're going to flip it to the inside. Same applies to this. Let's flip it to the inside, something like that. So if we check on 3D, there will be something like this, but this is going to be beveled. It's going to be beveled according to the angle of what we are going to achieve. So let's go back to the elevation, and I'll start with this one. Let's edit, and then we're going to activate the scheme grid and then get rid of the floor, the panels and frame. Okay, so you can come here, select this, add a point or move a point to there, start all over again, the process we did earlier on. Something like that. Let's quickly do it. I'm not going to be more accurate because you now know the process. Let's move on to here, move this to the top, and this is going to sit right there, and this is going to take this angle. Yeah, and then we're going to add some frames to this. Let's activate the frame by let's make sure, yeah. Then I'm going to draw a frame from here, or let's just start with this one, or we can just run. Let's start with this one. Make sure the boundary is unselected. Okay, activate the frame tool, make it a transom, right? And then I'm gonna draw it from here to there. I don't know why it's not snapping. So make sure it's aligned with the other ones. Yes, something like that. Do the same to the side. I don't know why it's refusing. Yes. And then I can run copies of this as well. Let's select that, multiply, hit OK, and run to there. Perfect, and then hit exit. Let's check on 3D. Yes, that's what we want. Right, now let's do the door. Go back here and select this, edit, and activate the frame. Draw your door frame. And draw the door frame like that. Start from there to here. And then once you're done with the door frame, we need to eliminate this. Let's eliminate what's going on here. Oh, yeah. What happened here? There's something wrong. Yeah, I was working on the other one. So let's undo. Let's undo. Let's undo. Undo. Okay. Exit. I was working on the other. Yes, I need to make sure I've selected the right one. So let's select this, yes, which is this one. Then hit edit. Then I can draw, activate the frame tool, and then draw the frame tool, something like that, something like this. And then I can get rid of these frames. Perfect. And then I can select this panel. This panel is not yet there because I didn't make panels here, so I'll activate the panel tool and then click here to add panels to all of these guys. something like that. And then we have a panel here again, and then another panel here. And then once this ends, make sure you activate the arrow tool and then select this panel, go to the settings, change the panel to be a double dot like we did, and then move to the next page. Or before you move to the next page, make sure this is full, and then this also is full. Let's move on. And then this leaf is going to be 50. Check again the leaf 2, make it 50. What else again do we need to do is the materials. The handle is going to be this one, and it's going to be the same. And we overrated this. We wanted to make this dashed, and this is going to be black. Oh, let's just use this color. Let's use color 2. And then we came here under the floor plan. Let's set this to be all color 2. And then under the model attributes, I'm going to, this is fine, everything is fine. Let's hit OK and apply the changes. There we go. We can hit exit now. Check on 3D. We have our curtain wall and door in place. So we need now to do what? To do this part. Let's go back to the elevation and quickly produce that. I will just select this, hit edit, and then like I did, I'll activate the screen grid and then get rid of the frame and the panel, so that you can be able to select this without a hassle. And pick this, make sure I will put it on top of that, and then this is going to be a point to this corner, add another point to this corner. Oh wow, let's undo. Let's add another point to this corner. Do the same to these ones to curve your corner. I'm not going to be accurate because I did this before, so you bear with me with that. So do the same to this area, and same applies to that, and add segments to this area, add another segment here. Let's see, pick this point, put it there, take this again to there. This we're gonna we have this side as well, this side as well. Okay, and then we're going to activate the panel and fill in here. Oh sorry, show panels, make sure the panel is active here. Yeah, okay, and then select this and open its settings. We made it to be 100, right? And then we've changed the material to be timber. Let's change here to be timber structural. And then the surfaces, we made it, the first one we made it paint titanium, right? And then these two ones will be wood mahogany vertical, wood mahogany vertical. Hit OK, perfect. And then we can exit. If we check on 3D, yeah, that's what we had. Now the challenge we're having is here. That's the most interesting part. We're going to make sure this is aligned with that. So to achieve that, okay, now I need to go to the plane so that I can start aligning it here. As you could see, it's not aligned. Let's select it and Control D to move it right on the edge of the other frames. Okay, if we check on 3D, that's how it is. This one we're not going to use the edit mode because we can just say change the angle. Let's measure the angle first, but we can say for now let's make it 50. Wow, let's flip it and see. 50 is going to be negative 50, for example. And I think I need to draw it. Let's mirror it. Control M, and I'm going to use this to, oh sorry, Control M to mirror it. What's going on? Let's mirror it just like that. Control D to move it back. Let's move it back here. Something like that. Check on 3D. Okay, now we need to measure this angle on elevation in order for us to, let's say, documents, angle dimension tool. I'll pick this corner and then pick that. Oh, sorry, let's start all over again. Pick this corner, select this edge, and I'll select this edge, and then go back to this corner and then place 69. It's supposed to be 70 instead of 69. Yeah, it's supposed to be, so let's make it 70. No, 60, 68. Let's just leave it at 69. I see problems. Okay, and then if we check on 3D, let's pick this parameter, I mean this point, and then use this stretch height slanted all the way to there. Okay, that's basically how it is. We need to fix this issue. Come here and then make sure this is supposed to be inside. It's supposed to be inside. All the way is supposed to be inside like that. Control D and move it right on the edge. Make sure it's on the edge like that. Perfect. Yeah. How is it? Yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to achieve, and you could see now we have a lobby. Sorry about that, guys. I'm recording this on construction site, so there are machinery background noise. So let's move on to the inside. I'm going to do a pit, a sunken lounge inside. So let's come here underground, and then we're going to have a slab. Let's activate a slab tool, and then draw a rectangle of 5 meters by maybe 4.5. I think we can, this can be 6 meters. Let's add another 1000, move it to here to the center, and then if you check on 3D, that's where we're going to have our sunken pit. So this is going to be at height of 0, right? And then once we have that, let's go back. I'm going to select the edge of this and then offset all edge and add a copy by control, by hitting control. And then I'm going to add 300, and then do the same to this one again, but for this is going to be also 300. Okay, but the size will be determined by the, let's have another one, 300. Okay, something like this. So the size of this will be determined by the width of our chair or our couch. So let's activate the object tool and then open its settings, and let's find the folder for couches and sofas. And then I'm going to scroll down. There's a specific sofa that I'm looking at. So we have this set. Let's start with the corner. Let's start with this corner, hit OK, place it here. So I'm gonna start it from there. Oh, there are two. Let's delete this. So like I said, this should be starting right on the edge, starting from this edge. So if we check on 3D, okay, let's step all this again. I'm going to pick or open this section. Let's open the section and then we do it on the section. So we're having this, how many? 1, 2, 3 and 4 slabs. So I'm going to Control D and move them down like that, and then this again is going to move down. Control D to move down to step it, and then I'll deselect this one and then move this again down and select this one. Lastly, move it down, something like that. Okay, now we need to cut off that because we need to have steps. We need to subtract from the thing. We'll start with the main slab. I'll pick this one of the point and activate the subtract with polygon, and then I'll activate the magic wand tool by pressing the spacebar key and then click on that to subtract. So I will start with this one as well, do the same, use this one to subtract, and this one also activate the magic wand and then click on the slab, pick this point, activate the magic wand, click the slab. So if we check on the 3D, we now have these steps, but it looks huge because we need to make our steps to be 300 instead of, same applies to this one, should be 300. Make this 300, and then let's make sure they are aligned because I can see they are not aligned. It there, they're not aligned. Pick this, get rid of the 50, Control D, Control D, Control D. There's an issue with my laptop. I don't know what ArchiCAD is now. Let's do this one as well. Okay, now we have a pit, but it feels so big because I just wanted to, I don't know why I made so many steps. I'll get rid of this one and then I can bring this up like that, and then let's offset all edges to fill in that. Okay, so if we bring our chair right on the floor, let's bring our chair let's see that. I think this, or we move from this floor to this one. Yeah, I think this level is fine. And then we're gonna get rid of the legs of this. Open in settings, and let's not show the legs. All right, so what we need to do, I think I can drop it a bit down again. I would use a section. Let's use a section 2. Select this and then move it right there. Yeah, so on 3D it makes sense. No, it makes sense. Now we need to have this slab, and then I'm gonna offset all edges to come all the way to maybe somewhere here. Let's make it 650. Yeah, make it 650. That's basically how it should be done. All right, so now I can now mirror the copy of this guy. Control Shift M to the other side, and then Control Shift D, bring someone here. Let's open its settings. I want the middle one, the standard one. Okay, so you move it here. Control Shift D to make a copy, and this should be also a standard one. I'll pick parameters of this, and then Alt and Control to transfer the parameters and make sure it's closer to that. So here I will have a corner. I'll Control Shift D and place this. Let's find a corner, change this to a corner, right, something like that, and then I'm going to mirror. Let's mirror this that way and select all these guys, and then move this to the edge like that. So I'm going to now pick parameters of this, place it here. Let's rotate vertically like that, horizontal like that, and Control D to move this to the edge. I'm going to run Control Shift D to make a copy, and I can make a mirror of this to the other side. And we are short with this now. Instead of making this, let's get rid of that. Instead of making this, now we're closing off. We're gonna close off this by as an end. Okay, so and then I can select all this layout arrangement or sitting arrangement, and then Control Shift M. I'm going to use the diagonals. Is it the diagonals? Control Shift M. I'm going to use the center of this to mirror it that way, and then Control M again. I'm going to use the center of this. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Oh. Sorry about that. I have to select now this. What happened? Control M to mirror this. Oh wow, what's going on with my? Let's group them first before we do mirror. Control Shift M, and then let's use this mid to mirror it horizontal, and then I'll Control M again. Control M. Let's mirror this vertical. Okay, and then we move this to this corner so that we can have this kind of an arrangement. And we still have, I think, let's activate our suspend group and then delete this chair and then move this closer next to that. Do the same to the other side. Okay, this side is better. It's better. So if you check on 3D, this is the arrangement that I wanted to achieve. Okay, this is the arrangement that I wanted to achieve. I still believe we need to have more room for legs here. I can pick this point, offset all edges again, and add maybe a 300 on top. Yeah, so that we can have enough leg area. And that it looks great. It looks great. And then you could select all of this, activate the suspend group. Let's override the floor plan and section pens and set this to that. Right, if you check on 3D, that's basically what we have. And we can add now a natural light to that area. So to do that, let's go back here on the plane view, and then we can instead of doing that, we can go here under the upper floor, and let's right click on the ground floor to show this as a trace reference, so that you can determine exactly where there is that. I don't know why this is not showing it's not showing the seating arrangement, but I think it's the issue of the fill. Okay, it has a cover fill. Let's uncheck it. There we go. Now we can see clearly where is our Sunken launch. So what I need to do is to come here under documents and have a sketch. I would use a spline tool just to draw some shapes. Could mirror this shape, and then maybe change the geometry of this shape just to make them unique. And then I can Control D this one, Control E to rotate it, something like that. I just want to make each unique, to make each shape unique like that. Okay, and then make sure it's centrally positioned. Once we have that, we need to select our shell tool, and then we're going to right click on our shell tool. You see we have new tools that are being added to our normal window of right clicking when selecting an object. We have this create a hole in shell or define the shell contour. So we're going to create a hole in our shell, and then once that is active, we're going to pick magic wand. Is it magic wand or control? I think it's magic wand. Oh, let's do it again. Right click, create a hole, magic wand, yes, and then select this one. Oh, sorry, I'll select that again. Right click, create a hole, and then hold space bar, and then click the lines or the geometry. Do again, right click, create a hole, shift hold, and click on the curve, on the 2D, something like that. If we check on 3D, we now have this. We now have this in your. That will be a natural light coming to your sunken pit. Okay, so let's quickly produce now the. Let's add a mesh to our. Yes, now it's well represented because it shows there is an up. It's showed in hidden detail to show there's a skylight above, right? So I'm going to activate the design tool and activate the mesh tool. So here I want to open its settings, and then I want under floor plan section to get rid of the cover fill, and then hit OK. We're going to use the geometry method of rectangle and then draw that there. Make sure it's sitting on 0. Let's see. Okay, now it looks great. So we need an issue here for our pit. So this we can use pick parameter of that, and then subtract polygon. We would use this line. And then if you check on 3D, clean, perfect, clean, perfect, great. Okay, another item is to do the representation. I want to teach you or share with you how can you represent well your floor plan, because currently as it is now, it doesn't show depth. Okay, so before we do that, let's go to the lights and then I open its settings. I want to interior lamps. Let's find the floor lamps. let's find the floor lengths to use here. I think I'll go with this one. I'll place the floor lamp here, another lamp there, another lamp here, another lamp there. So this one I'll select it, rotate. I want them to be facing to the pit. Same applies to this. Face the pit. Rotate to face the pit. This I can get rid of it. Okay, so in 3D you have this. Now the offset is wrong. We need to select them and set them to 0. Let's set them to 0 so that something like this. I know this is not a perfect light fixture for that, but ArchiCAD doesn't have many of this. So for now we can use this one. Okay, and then we can have some downlights again on the edge there, but that's not the agenda for this tutorial today. So what I need to do is to show you again how to what you call present your layout again in a nicer way. So on 3D we have this finish we've used, as you could see here, the timber. What we need to do here is to select it. Let's select this, and then I need to identify the material for that. So come here under its floorboard 1. So if you go here under options, element attributes, and then you open the surfaces, let's say just wait for it. It will select, no, I don't think it's selecting. It selects all the surfaces that are, it will highlight all the surfaces that are of the selected element on your project, but we only have a concrete here selected because we are using folders to view our surfaces. So if we change to list view, you'd see all the elements, all the surfaces selected, as you could see, or highlighted. So we need a floorboard 1, and what I need to do is to come here and under texture, let's see the I'm gonna click on the browse image. I want to see the site, the image located, the image name and where it's located. But I can see the image name here is floorboard 01 opt JPEG. But I need also to see the location for this. Okay, so it's located under wooden flooring, and here it is 01 opt JPEG. So what I need to do, we need to set this the cover fill. So the cover fill of this material to be equal to this. Do you get what I'm saying? Right now under the cover fill, there is no a cover fill for this. That's why they've used a wooden blank. So we need to create an image cover fill and then come and load it here. You know what I mean? So I will do this and then go to options again. Under elements attributes, let's go for fields, because that's where we create the cover fields. So I'll click on the list of the cover fields available there, and then find one of the fields under image fields to reuse it. I'll go with wood pocket or pocket, and then create new. I want to duplicate this. I would yes, I will say wood floor boards. Okay, and then hit OK. So I'm going to change this by browsing. Let's browse this and access. Remember, we've located that folder for the floorboards. And let's just expand this. It's under flooring, and it's floorboard 1 opt JPEG is this one. Hit OK. And then we can change its scale to be maybe 1.5 for now. It's subject to change because we would get the feedback once we've placed it, and then hit OK. So we've created a fill now for our material. So there are two ways of loading it. You can come here and select your slab, and then go to the floor plan and sections, and then activate the cover fill. Sorry about that. Let's come here and then activate the cover fill, and then you can go straight to the cover field we created, which is the floorboards, and then load it there. You see, now it will show you the scale of that needs to be changed. So go back to the element attributes, fields, and increase, make sure you select it, wood floorboards, and then increase the scale. I would say 5,000. Yeah, it's almost what I want. It's equivalent to what I see on the 3D. Okay, and then again, if you don't want to override this on the floor plan section, you could go back to the surfaces and then make sure under the cover fill for the floorboard, instead of using this textured one, you could go under image. Do we have image fields here? No, we don't have image fields. Oh, no, that's impossible. I thought we have an image field under the list of the fields because we created one, so clearly there's nothing that we can achieve from that. So that's the only way you could achieve it. Okay, so that's basically how it is. And then remember, our floor stops here, and then this is a raised floor, so I would select this one and come here, stretch this to end there. Makes sense? And then here we have a different finish, isn't it? From this, it's just tile. It's a tile we've used. If you look at our surfaces, we've used this tile white matte. Okay, so we can also do the same. Let's go to the elements attributes and then surfaces to locate the folder for that. Let's find the folder for this white matte 15 by 15 surface. It should be under tiles. Yes, it should be under tiles folder here, under flooring and then tiles. So I'm gonna go back to our fields under elements attributes. Let's create another field for that. So I'll scroll down and then choose one of the image fields to duplicate. It's always to reuse this because it saves a lot of your time. I will say this time around is going to be floor tile. Hit OK, browse. Let's browse the image to use. Let's find under tiles, remember, and it's tiles matte blah 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 white. Where is it? Wow, plenty of them. That one is 15 by 15, so I'll go with this one. Yes, hit OK. For now, I'm not sure with the size. Let's just use 5,000. Okay, and then hit OK. Select that and come under floor plan section, cover fill, and let's find our newly created floor tile. Perfect. That's basically how you can create a representation of the 2D from the 3D. Okay, so that was it, guys, for this tutorial. I hope you've learned a lot. If you've learned a lot, make sure you like, give us a thumb on the likes button, and then make sure you share this if you think it would be beneficial to anyone you know. And I appreciate your input, guys. If you made it to the end of this video, make sure to check other resources and other videos we created before, because that's what we do in a weekly basis. And also check our websites, links in the description there, to get the resources and information to use to optimize and beef up your workflow. Also, if you want this project, check the link on the description again to get this project for free. Thank you once again. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.